Professor Vincentas Lamanauskas. He's also a professor from Vilnius University, Chiayi Academy. So he used to be the Vice Minister of Education of Lithuania. Currently, he has running a research center and published many international journals. Okay, and today we have the honor to have two guest speakers to come to share their research.
Okay, thank you. It's nice again to be here. I'm from Vilnius University in Lithuania, from Šiauliai city in particular. Šiauliai city, it means Saulė, sun city. It's nice city, yeah. Not sun always, not every day, but anyway, it's sun city. And you are welcome to Lithuania. My first visit in Taiwan was in 2009. I am becoming more and more local here. Yeah, and yeah, my feelings, it's really good. But before my presentation, you need not only to know Lithuania or to pronounce Lithuania because it's quite difficult to pronounce. Lithuania, yeah. We called it Lietuva. Lietuva, it's simple. Lithuania, it's English, it's not so good. Yeah, and this is Lithuania. Lithuania, it's not so small, it's bigger than Taiwan. Because as far as I know, Taiwan is approximately 32,000 kilometers square, right? Something like that. Okay, 36. Okay, Lithuania is 64 and something. Yeah, but never mind, it's okay. And you can taste Lithuania. Please share. If this is not for Dean, sorry. you have one. This is for students. Please share Lithuanian chocolate and taste Lithuania. And yes, really, not all for you. My colleague, Professor Angela James from South Africa, from University of KwaZulu-Natal, she usually is saying Holy Trinity: sharing, caring, and learning. Yes, please share. And this is also Lithuania. By the way, both you see brand is Ruta. Ruta is a very famous Lithuanian girl name. And also we have a sweet factory in Šiauliai. This is our old traditional sweet factory in Šiauliai, produced by in our city in Šiauliai. Okay, that's all. For marketing, let's go shortly on this important topic related to academic writing or scientific writing. And for some, let's say 20 years, it's somehow my interest. But as previous speaker, my colleague and friend Martin Bilek, because we know each other for 20 years already. My background is chemistry and biology, teacher, and my PhD is in education, also in integrated science at that time, like STEAM education. And somehow I was involved in academic writing also. And next, my, let's say, main topic is research methodology in education. Research methodology, working with PhD students, master students mainly, etc., etc. And I have a hope that it somehow will be useful and important, despite that it's really a short time, because I have this course, accredited course in Brazil, in São Paulo, for 40 hours, and in some other universities, and updating from time to time, because it's really important. Let's go, in some cases possible quickly, because we need to save time. Time is our biggest enemy, you know. And democracy doesn't work because education is pressure. Education is pressure. You should put pressure on your learners. No another choice. This is organized in formal institutions, doesn't matter, universities, primary schools, or other schools, doesn't matter. This is organized education, yeah. Okay, role of academic scientific publications. Initial idea is that usually we have two related processes. First is how to conduct, how to perform a research. Doesn't matter in education, in psychology, in chemistry, or other studies. And second procedure is how to describe what was done, how to describe your research. Because scholars, scientists have no another choice to show their work only to describe it in different formats, to prepare a report, to prepare, let's say, generally report. It's not obligatory published in direct meaning that is published, publication. But report, what report? Different report. It can be article it can be newspaper, some information. It can be like qualification work, for example, bachelor thesis, master thesis, PhD thesis, etc., etc. Books, monographs, etc., etc. Generally, it's the same, more or less the same frame, the same approach. Obviously, publications varies based on format, let's say main purpose, etc. But anyway, this is a lot of common. First of all, it's like registration. It means that you somehow are registered in your field, in your particular field. You like announcement. Yes, I am working in this area, in this field, and I'm gaining some results, some research. I'm somehow expert, etc. Next, obviously, certification. I am not going into details because this is just general overview. As I said, we have some practice when working with students in regular, more or less regular course. Dissemination, obviously, we need to disseminate our knowledge, our research, our results, and how to disseminate. Obviously, now we have different means, different technologies, different approaches, like social networks, for example, Facebooks, Twitters, blah, 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 different, but anyway, we need dissemination. If it's not disseminated, it's, let's say, somehow another problem. Obviously, preservation, it's because you need to collect, to save this information, etc., it's important. And we need also to understand that publishing is a service. It's a service, and every service has some features, some important aspects. Publishers add value to articles throughout the publication process. For example, me as editor, we really making big input into work. Doesn't matter, research work, student work, etc., etc. This is added value through different process. It means during review process, during improvement process, this is somehow added value. And for example, publishers also responsible for dissemination, for storage, etc., etc. And generally, for example, it doesn't matter, but around 90–95% of articles have content changes during editorial procedure. Unbelievable, right? If you thinking that, okay, I prepared a good article, good master thesis, it's okay. But only few, let's say, articles, let's say, do not need any corrections, or so minimal corrections. Yeah. For example, I will show you later. You can. This is our two journals, main journals. This is Journal of Baltic Science Education, and this is Problems of Education in the 21st Century. And by the way, you see yellow and green color, and the blue color, yellow-blue. This is in support Ukraine. For whole year, all issues in this color. Yeah, and but it also obviously this is available, available online. But anyway, we are also keeping this traditional. Let's say I don't like this word traditional. Sorry for previous my colleague Martin. What does mean tradition? We should respect traditions. Nothing bad in traditions. Yeah, but it's another meaning for term traditional. Okay, and next. Around 50% of articles have content changes made to references section. Unbelievable. Let's say the most poor part in every article, generally references. or bibliography. This is really a biggest concern. Next, planning. It's like readiness. Are we ready for, or are you ready for publishing, or it's also important? And here we see some important reasons for desk rejections, so-called desk rejections, that we're receiving some papers, for example, submitted papers, and we immediately rejecting. And if at the end possible, I will show you on our platform how it works. And one example just from your neighbor country. It's some interesting points, because I already made a decision to reject immediately, but decided to keep in order to show you. First of all, it's mismatch with journal scope. For example, duplicate or inferior content and poor language quality. I mean, this is obviously important, I would say, for all scholars, possibly a little bit easier for native English speakers, but it's not only an absolute thing. Also, English speakers also making a lot of problems, and including language issues, etc. What does mean planning? Planning, it means that, what does mean not ready? Not ready if work is outdated. And please believe, quite often we receive, for example, research was carried out 10, 15 years. Yeah, this is old, outdated research. What is the reason to publish? It makes no sense. Next, it's duplication of published work. And now we have generally a lot of systems, online platforms, in order to check similarity, plagiarism, etc., and currently including artificial intelligence. For example, some parts, recently we received also one paper. From first look, from first sight, it was quite well written. Different theories, Vygotsky, etc., etc., etc. But we sent to review, and the reviewer checked, and after 1 week contacted me as editor, and we had maybe 1 hour discussion, and he said, possible it's written by artificial intelligence, at least some parts of a manuscript. And it's really, because, what I want to say, that currently there are some different platforms, you can check similarity. Is it written by artificial intelligence or not? This is quite challenging now. And okay, incorrect conclusions, technical shortcomings, etc. It means not ready. What does it mean ready? If original and transparent results, obviously significant enhancement of published work, up-to-date review, for example, and research is now complete, etc., etc. It means you are ready to publish. And work has now scientific interest in first version, and in second version, work is, let's say, advances the field, some contribution to the field, and it's ready to be published. And 3 signs of a good and relevant article: clear and useful message. Okay, it's what in particular paper or manuscript, what the message is. And logical manner, it's constructed logically and in good sequence, and readers grasp the research, grasps the interest. And editors and reviewers all want to receive well-presented manuscripts, obviously. It's because it's quite understandable. If you're receiving, let's say, I will be strong, rubbish, for example, something written in unclear manner, etc., etc., and if it fits, for example, within the aims and scope of a journal, it's good. If not, obviously it's different position. And first stage before writing, doesn't matter, again, as I said, master thesis, bachelor thesis, etc. First is determination. If you are ready to publish your work, is it correct? Is it at this stage or not? Decide. Next is decision on the type of manuscript. because it can be didactical work, it can be applied, for example, research, it can be, let's say, theoretical work of fundamental work, different types. Next, you need to decide on target journal or proceedings or some other collections of academic works, etc. For example, quite often we're receiving for our GBC, Journal of Baltic Science Education, papers from mathematics. Doesn't matter, mathematics education, for example. But mathematics education is not science education. In STEAM, it's okay if it's in connection with STEAM. But let's say separately, mathematics education is out of scope. And people quite often do not read the requirements or not lack an understanding, etc. Next, it's so important, unbelievable. Every journal, or not only journal, has own instructions, requirements, or standards for authors. And you need to check really carefully guidelines for authors. Because otherwise it's not correct, not only from ethical point of view, but also from academic point of view, etc. And we have, generally I'm saying, 4 versions. Poor research and poor article. If your research was poorly done, not correctly, obviously poor paper. Next version, good research, poor article. You can perform very nicely, very complete and good research, but description is poor. At some extent poor, weak description. Yeah? And why we do need some knowledge on academic writing? Because maybe we are good researchers, but not good writers. Poor research, good paper. It's also possible. It's also possible based on artificial intelligence now, or to have some assistance. For example, in some countries, I will not mention, let's say, but for example, personally, many times I was asked to serve as assistant in writing a paper, just for money. Yeah, it means we will pay you money and please help us to write a paper. It's not good behavior. But some scholars acting like this. It's not a secret. I am not sure about Taiwan. I think Taiwan is a transparent country, democratic country. And this is, let's say, now it's not on the top, but it's the best. Good research and good paper. Yeah, this is our goal for every scholar. Doesn't matter, experienced scholar or beginner scholar, etc. Some main stages. Pre-writing, it's clear. Pre-writing, we performing some drafting, revising, editing, at least preliminary editing. Next, it's presenting somewhere, for example, like in conferences or different events, etc., etc. But we need to understand that authors want to publish more. More and more, because due to academic career, due to some different reasons, and let's say editors want to use less, and not only editors, readers also. And again, as colleague Martin mentioned, from this pendulum, and right from one side to another side. But the question is, everyday question, continuous question, permanent question, how to find an appropriate balance. Balance in life, balance in science, everywhere. The same is here. This is the most difficult issue. And some steps to writing a research paper. First, when my students usually asking, how to write my title of my thesis, for example. I'll say, why? Why are you starting from title? No, not from title. Scientific problem selection. You should identify your problem, your idea, your general idea first. And formulation of research topic or title later on. Scientific problem, research aim, and main research idea or hypothesis. And working with literature, it means in general sense, scientific information sources, searching, reading, analyzing previous research and theoretical papers in order not to duplicate work, but to be familiar with your field of interest. Designing the study methodology, so important. Detailed plan describing how a study will be carried out, and also describing with some arguments each step. Working with data. With data, collecting, processing, analyzing, interpreting research material, also quite important. And writing, editing the text, research paper, presenting or delivering somewhere, etc. And public presentation. Public presentation, it's clear, presenting your research and your results in lectures, during lectures, in public, conferences and other events, etc. Now, shortly about general structure of research article, research paper. Generally, scholars know IMRAD structure, IMRAD model, but it's not absolute model. Scientific article usually a strictly structured document. Obviously depends on the field, for example, for mathematicians, for chemists, or other fields, but I am generally oriented to social sciences as education, psychology, sociology, etc. And degree of structure is essential. It increases readability and comprehensibility. Because, again, in some countries, it's like a tradition to write a research paper like an essay, like a letter, without any structure, just flowing like a story. I am usually saying storytelling. Not scientific word, but storytelling. It's not so correct. Degree of structuring is measured by number of parts, chapters, subchapters, sections. Inside the chapter, again, different paragraphs, visualized materials, formulas, tables, etc., etc. But please remember, it's so important. Quite often, people trying, students mainly, to make big diagrams, for example. I am usually calling this pancakes, etc., etc. It's not so correct because text is primary, visualization is secondary, not opposite. And next article usually consists from some parts and introduction, literature review or related work or theoretical framework. It can be named a little bit differently. And essential, so-called essential part or operative part, and final part. Final part sections may contain, for example, some links to other sections or some other sources. And in structure, main place is occupied by introductory part, answers to the questions what and why. What and why in relation to particular research. And next part answers to the question how. What is the result, your main result. And in the final part, let's say general answer. What results was achieved? What did you achieve? And some conclusions, future work, for example, some acknowledgements if needed, literature, references, etc. Discuss about what, why, how, what is consequence. What should always be avoided? It's quite important issue. First of all, plagiarism. Every paper we're receiving, submitted paper, immediately is checked by, for example, we use authenticate system, cross-ref and cross-check system, and immediately shows similarity index. Next, how to avoid plagiarism. Obviously, different. It's not, let's say, quite often plagiarism is not intentional. It's accidental. Not knowing, for example, how to cite, how to make references, how to perform quotations, for example, etc., etc. Quote over authors in your own words. First of all, it's like paraphrasing, right? Intersperse with your own results, with your own ideas, with your own interpretation. What is self-plagiarism? Also, self-plagiarism It means that for experienced authors mainly, who write a lot, and they including, for example, please believe, sometimes we're receiving papers from authors and list of references made only by own sources, previously published papers. It's somehow unbelievable, but it happens. And to what degree is this acceptable? And for example, discussion about 25% is good, about 50% is bad. Next, let's go quickly through some parts. Title. Title, it means subject and what aspect of a subject was studied, was explored. Title creates first impression of your paper, should be more than 5 but less than 12 words. It's not so strictly, but generally we are following APA standards, American Psychological Association standards. Now it's 7th edition standards for approximately 100 pages book. I have it's a holy book on my table. And not only, in previous version, in previous standard, it was like recommendation quite strong, between 6 and no more than 12 words in the title. But, okay, nothing will happen if it will be 13 or 14 words, but obviously not 20 or 30 words. And it would not be correct if, let's say, to have 3 words or 2 words. For example, we received the paper, smoking is bad. Okay, smoking is bad. We know it. Why do we need paper with this title? Yeah, and etc. Title should indicate the narrow topic of research problem, and main research idea should be reflected in the title. And only, let's say, some hilarious or flattering title should be avoided. Should be avoided generally. For example, raising some question, and after question, something, some emotional, let's say, emotional title, with sense of humor, etc. For example, this from one paper we received, we published this paper later on, but with some changes. You see, old wine in new skins. Question, and next, an exploratory study on students, and then blah, 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 blah. Okay, but there are some problems. First of all, question is not needed, is not correct. And second biggest issue is an exploratory study. It makes no sense, any sense to name or to mention research type. And quite often, titles starting from research on, research about. It's obvious that it's research. Why do we need to put into title? Let's save place for better words. Yeah, and two main problems here, for example, in this title. Next, effective titles. What does mean effective title? It's attract readers' attention, first of all, contain fewest possible words, adequately describe content, informative, etc., etc. Identify your main issue. And do not use technical jargon or some abbreviations, for example, in the title, because possibly it's not understandable. And the title creates the first impression of your paper. For example, when you're receiving paper, editor or managing editor or technical editor, doesn't matter, this is first impression. You immediately gaining impression. Possibly it's bad, possibly it's good. And you need to avoid it because it can be. And it doesn't matter what type of research. As I already mentioned, title should reflect research problem, should describe research problem. Abstract. Please believe, the most difficult part, or at least really difficult part, to write and correct abstract. Yeah, because abstract answers to the question, how to sell your work. This is marketing. Abstract serves for marketing, nothing more. And the main issue is that authors usually mixing with annotation and abstract. No difference between annotation and abstract. Abstract should grip reader's attention, should contain a lot of wow. Means, oh, how interesting, just from first line. You need sex for everyday life. For example. Oh, it's worth to read, yeah. And abstract should use present tense, this is language issues, etc., etc. Do not use future tense. Not only in abstract, but quite often. In next part, we will describe something. For example, when. Editor immediately raising question. When will describe. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, or next month, or next year. Yeah, research is obviously done in the past. Research was done in the past. Please use generally past tense. No any future tense. It should be the last section that you write. Do not follow, let's say, traditional sequence. Okay, traditional. Abstract, this is the last part. When your research is described, it's done, you can work on abstract, just for marketing. And following process. Generally, explain the reader what the problem and or why the research was conducted. Just by one sentence, okay, by 2 sentences, because abstract usually has a limit. For example, again, according to APA standards, abstract should be no more than 250 words. Generally from 150 till 250. If more, it's not correct. Mention research design, mention the type of data gathering tools, if you size of sample, if applicable, theoretical perspective or framework, summary of your results, implications of results, etc. And shortly some examples. For example, this abstract. Just have a look quickly. First sentence. Quality assurance is important for learning and teaching process. What is the meaning of this sentence? It's rubbish. Nothing. Obviously, it's important. Who is against? Nobody. Again, quality assurance is a new type of working in universities, blah, 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 blah. Nothing new. Results was very interesting. What this message in this sentence? Obviously, it's interesting. And etc., etc. And next, which I use personal style in a practice. Absolutely bad. Absolutely bad. Let's have a look to next one. You see, based on size, approximately the same amount of words. Yeah. First sentence. Research on children's ideas about biological phenomena showed that their interpretation of natural phenomena often differ from those of scientists. Immediately problem. By one sentence. Next. Purpose of the study was to investigate children's ideas about animal breathing systems. The study was descriptive in nature and in one sentence. Design is described and sample size is described, etc. And results revealed that understanding of invertebrate breathing systems were generally poorer than understanding of vertebrate breathing systems. And that's all. Yeah, okay, I would have some critics here also. Yeah, but let's say so small critics. For example, I don't like the term investigate, because investigate, sometimes it's okay, but if possible, please avoid this word, because it's criminological mainly term. This is related with detective work, investigation, criminal investigation, police investigation, but not research, because in research, we're searching something new, we're producing new knowledge. New knowledge, new data, but not what happened ex post factum. Yeah, this is investigation. We are not investigators, we are researchers. What does mean research? To find something new. Yeah, and okay, this is bad, this is good. You see the introduction. Approximately 10% in your whole work. And the main question is why the study was carried out. Why? You should finish your introduction, because introduction is not your work part to know where. Quite often, many students are writing, okay, I need to write 10 pages or 20 pages introduction. Introduction to what? Introduction to nowhere. Yeah, and you're reading introduction, it's copy paste, and introduction nowhere. Introduction should contextualize the research. Broad spectrum, I'm naming popular modern pedagogy terms is not correct. Also, scientific publication in international journal is not a textbook. The same with master work. For example, quite often master students writing, let's say, I remember one example, thesis was connected with some smoking issues, etc., prophylactics, etc. And first part in introduction about health education. Health education, meaning of health education, concept of health education, blah, 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 nice story from textbooks. Compilation of textbooks, it's not introduction. Etc., etc., so already mentioned. Introduction should introduce research problem. And 3 parts, 3 questions. What do we know currently at this stage? Next, what we do not know, for example, as in previous abstract, differs. Understanding of students and scholars differs on some topic, in relation to some topic. And why we performed, why did we do this research? Next, possible I will go quickly, fast introduction section, again about language issues, present simple tense for mentioning basic facts, present perfect tense is used for referring previous research done. For example, quite often written, like Professor Bilek in 2010 argue that, something, not argue, argued that. It was 10 or 15 years ago. It means not present tense. Yeah, it's quite not so easy. And introduction, 3 steps. Known, unknown, hypothesis, or research questions if needed. Already mentioned, and introduction usually presents offer short overview of the concrete problems, what is supposed to be solved. Introduction usually should end with statement of a problem, and finally, after explaining, yes, here is really a problem, and I am going to solve somehow, to find a solution. And I am raising some aim. My aim is, my aim was in description, yeah, and some research questions. Research methodology. Also, quite often, a big mix here. Around 15%. How the study was carried out. Not why, but how. Introduction answers why, methodology, how. And again, informative, must be no uncertainty, reasons, etc., etc. And general description is important, for example, to show background. Quite often, research methodology is started by description of sample or participants. It's not correct, it's not fully correct, because you should mention general description or background, or let's say research design, including, for example, some, let's say, technical, practical aspects when your research was done. At what time? For example, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or BC, before Christ, for example. Nobody knows, because it's not included, such information. Quite often it's not included. And some, let's say, conditions, in what conditions this research was done. Yeah? It's important. And research design, etc., and provide summary of procedures, materials used, and so on. Because readers need to know reasons why you decided on particular, for example, method or technique, and instead of others, for example. Usually, not only master students, but students usually asking, yeah, professor, I need to prepare a questionnaire. I am asking, why questionnaire? How do you know that you need questionnaire? Possible interview form, possible test, possible something more? Or just document analysis, for example, or content analysis. How do you know about questionnaire? No, but you know, this is in previous work, this is our traditional approach. Research results, around 50%. What was found? Exactly what was found. Again, do not use words that describe what's mentioned in tables, for example. you should keep in mind this question. Is it something original to be reported? Something serious, something original. And next, you should remember that you write a research paper, you do not draw a paper. Big table in one page, next page, one diagram, already 2 pages, next diagram in different colors. Previous was black and white. Next one colored in 7 colors or more. It's nice, but it's unscientific approach. Text is primary, graphics is secondary. Accurately presentation of your findings should be presented in details and discussed accordingly without any mix with other studies. Sometimes in theoretical studies, in review papers, for example, analytical reviews, it's possible, but it depends. But mainly in empirical works, do not mix your results with others' results. For example, I'm presenting my results and, Bilek also found something. Okay, Professor Bilek possible found, but where is my results and where are another results? Do not mix. This should be quite clear. This is some technical issues. Do not create visual noise. Should present results in words with the help of tables, charts, graphs, etc. Discussion. It's like interpretation, like review, like overview of your results. Why these results could be significant, could be relevant? Why? You should find somehow, and in this part, you need to compare with previous research, with some similar research, etc., etc. And it includes comparison, some analysis, some criticism, and make discussion corresponding to results, but do not reiterate your results. And 2 questions, most important questions. What is already known about this topic? And quite often it's recommended scholars just separating this text, possible as some excerpts, indicating this is really already known. But my research adds something new. Or better understanding, better clarification, better explanation, something new. And discussion, you should interpret your results in light of other published results. Results of research and discussion should be in separate chapters, as I already mentioned, and etc. And you should discuss possible reasons of your findings and then link them to the related literature, state of the art. And also, it's quite important to pay attention. This standards, APA standards, recommends that similarities and differences between your results and the work of others should be used to contextualize, confirm, clarify your conclusions. It means you are expected to cite other authors' papers in this section. Again, quite often, we can find discussion section in the manuscript without any comparative analysis. Just again, story, repetition, quite often repetition of already known results. Conclusions and implications. What is the essence of research? What is the essence? Yeah? What is the essence? You should answer. Bring out significance of your research, point remaining gaps of knowledge. This is implications for your future research. And conclusions part is not a summary of previously reported findings. Also, this is quite important. And the conclusions and implications. Should include newly formulated theoretical contributions, summarize how article contributes to the new knowledge in the domain, etc. Bring out the significance, essence of your research, etc., etc. It's quite well known. General rules of representing numbers. I will skip this part because generally in APA style you can find detailed description of different recommendations, how to use language, how to format your work, etc., etc. Shortly about writing. Writing is elaboration or implementation of a created plan, direct presentation of material in the written language, And main requirements for work: knowledge of a language, foreign, as a rule, English or native, clarity, simplicity, uniformity of a style. As I mentioned, for example, in one page, you can, or let's say one diagram is black and white, another one colored, etc., etc. Different style, different formats. Also, it's not correct. It should be unified. And writing is the most difficult stage for many scholars. Please believe me. It's really. I am speaking also about myself, despite that in total I published more than 600 papers, different papers obviously, but I am still feeling deficit in my knowledge and my academic writing skills. Yeah, prerequisites of well-written: good, easy to understand, the presence of a list in the text, structuring, fluent, grammatically correct, connections between chapters, short sentences. Please avoid long sentences without, because you can be lost just in one sentence. And scientific style, etc., etc. Editing algorithm. Insert the first article into required frames. Look at the scope, check compliance with the content. Improve each part by tweaking and editing it. Create versions, for example. You can have some stop, create or get feedback. For example, you can discuss with reviewers, with your supervisor, with colleagues, finally, etc., etc. Because this is really so important issue. And now the article evaluation criteria. You can find more. From time to time, I'm trying to publish something to summarize some experience. It was published on different topics: scientific article preparation, title, abstract, and keywords. Just how to write keywords, title, and abstract. Short summary information. It's open and available. Next was about comprehensive introduction, how to prepare a comprehensive introduction. Next, methodology description. Also describing results. This is our Problems of Education journal, and you can find. And next, focus, discussion, and rational conclusions. Because two main aspects: focused discussion and rational conclusions, not just storytelling. And now I'm working on another paper, possible this year, related to scientific communication, communication with editors, with journals, etc. And local approach. This is pre-last slide. It's my favorite slide somehow, but not from Lithuania, sorry. This is from Slovenia, another country we're collaborating, but I found in student cafeteria. On the wall, it was this big writing, and I saw, oh my Lord, how it's interesting. Life really short. And yeah, why do we need academic writing? Yeah, and think and act systemically, and yeah, we need. Okay, possible. I will show that shortly, if possible. Oh, sorry. Hope it works. You can see here platform, editorial park platform, and our publishing house uses such platform. It's quite good. We're improving. My colleagues improving, and you can see a simple structure. And because I am on academic visit now at the moment, and you see pending initial verification, 7 papers submitted, and I see received adjustment. It means that after initial verification, as an editor, I can request immediate adjustment, improvement. Yeah, paper, for example, generally acceptable for review, not acceptable for publishing, but just for review. And we can require adjustment. For example, if paper is not in line with requirements or with template, etc., it's important. And please know this is what is okay? Let's open. Try to open pending initial verification. Yeah, and we see some papers submitted. Challenges, yeah, from Colombia. You see, oh my God. Sustainable Development Goals and Strategic Management in Colombia. Higher education institutions in Colombia. Strategic management. It's out of scope. Out of scope. Action. Immediately. Reject. Reject. Out of scope. This is quite fast work. Yeah. It's okay. That's all. Rejected. It's done. Yeah, next. Here. Let's open it. Systems theory and students' perception. Yeah. Okay. Oh. This is from where? From China? Possible. Oh, okay, but it's not possible. Next one. Let's turn back. No, Uganda, media development. Okay, but possible this one. Just once again, let's open. I forgot. This one. This one, because it's a little bit different monitor, sorry. This one, really, this one. Systems theory and students' perception. Generally, it's a quite good format of title because we have this part as a backbone. Yeah? Systems theory and students' perception. Okay. It's quite clear what it is about. And next, comparison and application of the two higher education quality evaluation theories. First of all, it's out of scope. Obvious, not science education. This is not chemistry education, not STEAM education, not biology education, out of scope. Next, abstract, okay, abstract, we are not going to read an abstract. Let's have a look to comments for editors. And you see, dear editor, this is like cover letter, like title letter to explain for editor meaning of research, to encourage to be published, etc. And you see, explaining, presented for publication as a research article in sustainability. What does it mean? This is another journal in Switzerland. Sustainability. It means that copy and paste, possible sustainability rejected this paper, and we decided just without any correction to send to Journal of Baltic Science Education. This is violation of ethics, first of all. Yeah? You see? Two main problems. Out of scope, it can be rejected immediately based on that. And next, it's violation of ethics. Because, for example, as an editor, I don't know, is it possible it's under review process in this journal, in sustainability? Possibly it's not finished. Sometimes it happens that, for example, my paper was rejected based on some reasons, detailed explanation, etc. And we decided to withdraw our paper from a previous, let's say, journal. And now we want to submit to your journal, for example. It's okay. It would be okay. But now you see, this is everything about sustainability in many places. College, university, I don't know what university is. Sorry. Yeah, doesn't matter. Obviously, we will reject immediately. Next you see, verification is to send to Authenticate directly. to check in relation to similarity, plagiarism. We can, I will save time, not send, but it's possible. Just connected platforms to cross-ref, cross-check, and we immediately know similarity. Obviously, similarity is not absolute thing. We should be flexible. For example, sometimes in paper you can use a lot of different statistical terms, statistical expressions, for example, yeah, et cetera, et cetera. It raises your similarity index. But it doesn't mean that it's plagiat. But sometimes you can receive 80%, 90% of similarity. And you can find immediately, because authenticate system shows all connections, all links with previously published papers or in different sources. Yeah, and let's return back. It's clear. And next, we see quite well awaiting reviewer selection, for example, some received reviews, and next, accepted papers. For example, currently we have 13 papers in publication list. It means that they are preliminary accepted, but not fully finalized due to different reasons. Yeah, for example, we have this good paper possible from Taiwan. At least we have a lot from Taiwan. Bibliometric analysis you see in STEM education. Okay, we can open it. It's not a secret. Possible, no, Lithuania University, yeah. But it's quite good paper, evaluated by 3 reviewers, this is from Israel. This is I don't know. Some was from Taiwan. This is in we can have a look. Yeah, this is a correct explanation. You see. Sorry, it doesn't matter that my name is included, but it's somehow polite, let's say, expression. Editor-in-chief, etc., etc. Dear editor, I wish to submit my original work, etc. And manuscript has not been published or presented elsewhere, etc., etc. This is from South Korea. Yeah. Okay. And final step. You see. Currently, this is through 3 years period. Through 3 years period, we're using this platform. Before we used another platform. You see approximately, oh my God, this amount rejected papers and withdraw papers, and you see acceptance rate currently calculated only 15% papers. But can you imagine? So big workload for editors. Okay, not all papers were sent to reviewers. Okay, but majority were reviewed. And it's hard work. And your Professor Kuo-Hung, he knows very well because he is editorial board member on our journal, Problems of Education. And you see, it's really hard work. Not only for editors, but for scholars. If you are rejected, if your paper is rejected, obviously you can have different ways. You can improve it. You can send to another journal. You can reject in full. It's based on different reasons. We have different workshops, different practice in relation to this. Please, you can contact me if you have very, very burning issues. And it's not possible to wait till tomorrow. Please send the mail, despite that we have 6-hour difference. This is breakfast time, approximately, in Lithuania. Yeah, when I arrived first time in 2009, I was shocked. I need to go to breakfast, but it's midnight. Midnight in Lithuania. I wanted to sleep, but sunny day. How it's possible? Caring and learning. Okay, thank you very much.